Hello everyone and welcome to the October 2016 Screencast. We've got quite a few things happening around the intermediate school district. I wanted to get this out so everybody can see it, and then on the 25th of October I will be in the buildings for any other questions you might have and to go over these things with you and any questions you might have about them. So first of all, believe it or not, we have to start thinking about the holidays, and here will be the office hours across the intermediate school district buildings during Christmas time. December 26th through January 3rd, the offices will be closed, and then they will reopen on January 4th. Open enrollment time is also coming quickly. That will be held October 30th through the 14th. The HR department will send out specific directions. You need to complete this process. You need to make your insurance selections and do your United Way selections and other things in that process. So you'll have a 2-week window, and there will be very specific directions coming out of the HR department soon. So please look for those in your inbox. Speaking of the United Way campaign, this is also held during open enrollment, and this year the schools countywide have issued each other a challenge, and they're putting out some suggested possibilities for people to make donations to the United Way, which is a very, very strong community partner of ours. And you see them there on the screen. So it's just a challenge and a way for the schools to be all in with a great community partner that is working hard for families and kids, just like the intermediate school district is across Jackson County. So please consider making a donation to the United Way. Also, just a quick update on the voluntary retirement savings plan. Town hall meetings will probably start the week of November 7th, and they will be large overview meetings that will basically prepare you to set up your individual one-on-one meetings, which will happen during the next week, November 14th. They'll tell you what to bring to the meeting, what to expect, what to look for, so you can go home, talk with your family, think about what you might want to do, and then set up individual times the week of November 14th. We are still anticipating that December 1st will be the go-live date for the new voluntary retirement savings plan, with the first deductions happening on December 8th. After we get things going here in the start of the new year, we'll be looking for a retirement savings plan participant feedback group, and we'll just get a few representatives from around the intermediate school district. This will not be a group that actually makes decisions on what's available, but it'll understand the decisions that have been made within those investment options and be able to communicate and answer questions for people. So things are rolling there, and look for more information right around mid-November on those kinds of meetings. Now, evaluations, there's been several, there's a lot going on in terms of implementing our new systems for instructional teachers and administrators, and we've received several questions after the soup du jour that allowed people to submit some questions. So I want to try and clear some of that up right now as we work through this. Remember, the big thing about this new system of evaluation is you have to document and have evidence as to what's happening both in the classroom and as an administrator in your building. And then it's a participatory process. It's not something that's done to you, it's something that's done with you. And so there's a lot of conversation that takes place between supervisor and employee. And there's a lot of back and forth in terms of what the evidence that has been gathered means. And the whole idea is that we're continuously trying to improve. So for teacher evaluations, we have 5D+. Now, the entire county agreed that the intermediate school district would facilitate the training around 5D+. It doesn't mean every school district in the county chose 5D+. It just means they have to go someplace else for their training. I believe only one district chose something different in Jackson County. Everybody else chose 5D+. But that was really for just efficiency and use of resources in terms of helping all the training get done. Now, all of the dimensions in 5D+ will be evaluated. However, the final score that actually determines whether an employee is ineffective, minimally effective, effective, or highly effective will be comprised of just this: 3 focus areas. And those 3 focus areas will be selected between the administrator and the instructor. And that will be either 70 or 72% based on which unit you're in, which bargaining unit you're in. Student growth will be 30 or 28% of that final score, based on what bargaining unit you're in. And the reason there's a little bit of difference there is back when student growth percentages of your evaluation were bargained, the two units had bargained this. Now it's not bargainable anymore, but we simply just took what had been bargained before and rolled it forward. So that's why you have slightly different percentages there. Also, there's something called Section 1248 of the School Code, which has some factors that have to be a part of evaluation. Things such as attendance, discipline, employee discipline, things of that nature that have to be included in the evaluation. And what happens there is it'll simply raise or lower that percentage based on what's happening, and your administrators will talk about how that can happen if it's going to happen. So the bottom line is all the dimensions are evaluated, but there's only 3 focus areas that make up a bulk of the final score, and then student growth makes up the other part of that student score, and it can go up and down based on Section 1248 things like your attendance, any kind of disciplinary things that happen during the school year, etc. So I hope that kind of cleans up some of the misperceptions in terms of how we are trying to be very consistent across the intermediate school district in implementing this. Again, congratulations on accreditation. You are all to be commended. You make this a great organization. And the visiting team said as much when they said, it's not really about what you do, it's about who you have doing it and the excellence in which it is done. And boy, that's a pretty proud moment for all of us as an intermediate school district. So what we need to do moving forward, coming out of this process, remember what we wanted them to do was validate where we thought we had to go. They did just that. And here are our action items moving forward in the year to come and maybe further. We want to implement a new induction process. So every time a new employee comes into the intermediate school district, we induct them into our culture and really help them understand the entire intermediate school district. We want to create, either review the mentoring programs we have, because we have some good ones in the building, but we don't have mentoring programs for non-instructional staff. We want to make sure those get in place. We wanted to now take a look at non-instructional staff evaluation. We are implementing new forms of evaluation for our instructional staff. Now it's time to look at the non-instructional staff evaluation, and we will be doing that throughout the year. We won't implement it this year, but we'll pick something this year to be implemented next year. I want to create a JCISD data team, people from across the intermediate school district where we might come together quarterly and just look at all of our data and bounce around what that data means and provide us with some new directions informed by that data. Of course, we're implementing new instructional staff evaluation systems, as we've already talked about. And then we're also going to meet as a board, and we're going to get representatives from across the district to develop a list of shared values for the intermediate school district. We have a strong purpose statement. We know that the main tenets of that purpose statement are instruction, leadership, service, and community. Now it's time to have a list of shared values that go along with that. Put them in writing and make sure that all of our materials that go out really emphasize those shared values. So that's some of the work that's going to happen in the next year as a result of the accreditation team saying, yeah, that's the right stuff you should be working on, and by the way, you're doing a great job. So thanks again to everybody through this accreditation process, and we benchmarked ourselves. Now it's time to continue move forward and continuously improve. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'll be out in the buildings on October 25th to answer any questions that you might have submitted since this point, and go ahead and explain anything more on the topics that I've already mentioned here in the screencast. You see the times there on the 25th that I'll be in the buildings, starting at the Torrance Center in the morning and working to the bus garage, back to the KEC, to the Career Center, and then having a later meeting at the KEC building. So thank you everybody for all that you do. I hope you're having a great year, and I look forward to seeing you soon.